The Roman Empire hijacked the Jesus movement, and people seem to have this idea that the church is made up of these innocent, sweet priests just trying to do the Lord's work. In reality, it's the evolution and remnants of the most powerful empire in our current history. Rome got in there quick. It set up its hierarchy. It put Jesus on this unattainable pedestal of divinity that we could never attain. They took Jewish hope for liberation and turned it into a never-ending wait for salvation. Any group that threatened their power and control was labeled heretic and persecuted. They told us anything outside of the Bible was considered demonic in order to control where we went to for truth. They condemned personal revelation, except for when it came from Paul, probably because he was a Roman citizen and he taught submission and obedience to the empire. They got in there and wove in all their Roman pagan themes into the mythology of Jesus in order to make it more palatable to the Gentiles. We don't know what those early Christians truly believed. They were persecuted, they were killed, their texts were destroyed. Anything that went against the new uprising transition from the Roman Empire to the Roman Catholic Church was destroyed. We may never know the full scope of Jesus' teachings and what his mission here was really about. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching people to soften their hearts, to develop the eyes and ears to hear, to ask, seek, and knock, to go within, to develop an esoteric mindset in order to see the deeper messages of his parables and his teachings, to be able to recognize whether something is of Jesus' nature or some sort of distortion.
Well, this girl's got a lot of mess in her mind related to both history and the way that the Bible was developed. For example, her saying the only thing that was preserved was the Apostle Paul's writings in the Bible because he was a Roman citizen. Well, what do you have with Mark and Matthew and John and James and all kinds of other biblical authors? Second thing that she gets wrong is that Rome was in control of this. Christianity was a subversive movement until the 300s. Not only was Rome not in control of them, but they were persecuting them because what was predominant in Rome? Caesar worship. And for a whole bunch of people who are saying Caesar is Lord, when a brand new group comes in and says Jesus is Lord, well, what are they going to do? They're not going to co-opt it and develop it. They're going to try and stamp it out, which is exactly what they did. Christianity wasn't even legal in the Roman Empire until 300 years after Jesus, let alone controlled by it. And as far as the selection of the books of the Bible, well, that was done not by Rome, not by any kind of government that was out there. It was done by collections of bishops and priests and church leaders. And the criteria that they used is exactly what she said they didn't use. They asked, what was accepted by the early church? What were the ones that were written by eyewitnesses? What were the ones that were circulated broadly because everybody believed that it was an accurate understanding of what Jesus and his movement was all about? Friends, when you know the facts, what you find is that you can trust the Bible. You can trust the credibility of it. You can trust the transmission of it. You can trust the assembly of it so that it becomes the authority for our faith and practice.